Hello there, welcome to my reaction to Elden Ring Zero Punctuation. This video was recommended to me probably when it came out on 9th of March. I know, March, not May. Never mind, it wasn't. It was recommended to me like some time ago. I don't think it was when it came out, but it's just a short video and I want to do reaction to a short video. I'm not in the mood for something long. It's like 2:30 a.m. and I want to play Monster Hunter again and not do this. Anyway, I don't think I have seen a single video from Zero Punctuation. Right, that's the channel's name as well. Oh no, it's The Escapist. Just this sounded familiar, the Zero Punctuation part. I haven't seen a video, I guess, of this type in this case, or something from the Escapist channel, but I've seen them pop up in my recommended from time to time. So, and seeing how short it is, and not thinking about the name, it's just probably going to be a very fire away just over review for Elden Ring. And that's why I'm talking a bit more in the beginning, because I'm probably not going to be able to talk while it's going to be happening. But now we're done, so like, comment, and subscribe, and let's begin.
I've had a lot of trouble with Elden Ring, but my doctor tells me it's perfectly natural for my age and I should add more fiber to my diet. Very droll, Yarts. Now tell us if this fucking game's any good so I can decide if I'm taking this gun out of my mouth. Well, yes, it's a From Software Soulsy game and therefore good, and characteristically light on overt storytelling, but this time I told myself I was going to really concentrate on parsing the dialogue and item descriptions and figure this shit out up front. A little later, that vow kind of fell by the wayside because chiefly what I remembered of the prior 2 hours was getting mashed into farmhouse chutney by a dude that looked like an owl pellet got rogered by a semi-truck. Turns out Elden Ring's hard.
That guy.
Is it, Yarts? Well, hold on while I run cold water over the blisters that searing inside gave me. Look, I've been getting run over by the Souls train for years. I'm a fucking vet, and I swear, ever since we all figured out the roll behind them when they attack and stab them in the bum cheat code, From Software have been upping the bullshit difficulty with every new game. Seems like a lot of the early bosses fall
that's
back
a
on
good
what my
thing.
schoolyard chums used to very inappropriately call spazzing the fuck out and wail on you too fast for you to react or keep your guard up. Like everyone's taken the Manners Father of the Abyss correspondence course and grafted on at least one extraneous limb. But let's roll back a bit. Elden Ring is open world Dark Souls. None of that Sekiro brand piddling about with grappling hooks and stealth elements. This is mainline Dark Souls classic, meaning you're an immortal
Well, there are stealth elements here more than any other Souls game, but continue.
dude in a decaying medieval fantasy setting where all the
They're not
dragons are dying
necessary,
of
but
crotch
still.
rot, and you've got a sword and a shield that spends more time in front of your face than your prescription spectacles, and if your spine doesn't yet resemble a McDonald's logo, then you haven't dodge rolled enough. With the usual fussy bitch alteration of terminology, we collect runes rather than souls, crimson tears instead of esters, and to upgrade our weapons, instead of titanite shards and large titanite shards, we collect smithing stones and smithing stone 2s. That's fucking weak, Elden Ring. What, is it the sequel to Smithing Stone 1? This is a communication issue. The first time I picked up a smithing stone 2, this time it's personal, I assumed I'd picked up 2 smithing stones. That was an embarrassing moment at the blacksmith shop. If you are a Dark Souls vet, the old
I can see how that could happen, but also they've added a lot more weapon upgrades. It's like if you take smithering ones, it's 10, like 9 was just a number. So naming each one, somber smithing stone, like what, a shard, then a normal stone, large one, enormous, giga one. Like, it's fine. It's just an upgrade material. There's nothing important about it outside of that. So I think it's fine.
old instincts will require a little adjustment. It takes 2 button presses to switch to two-handed mode now. How unintuitive. Fucking ruined forever From Software. They've had to rearrange the face buttons a bit to accommodate the jump button. Oh yes, a linearly structured environment might be able to get away with a jump control that feels like playing lawn darts with a bag of damp cement. But in open world land, you need a proper jump button in case we get caught between a hitbox and a hard place. Sensible,
True.
but little did Elden Ring know it had sown the seeds of its downfall with that little addition. Here's my beginner's gameplay tip. Never heavy attack if you can jump heavy attack, because it's all the damage with none of the wind-up time and stuns anything with poise below 10 squillion. If it's in
Kinda,
range
yeah.
and not fast enough to hop out of the way, then it's getting cobblestones for breakfast. Not a universal strategy, but it gave me enough edge to counteract the spaz out brigade. And of course, the open world also brings with it horse riding and mounted combat, another thing that's fairly easy to cheese. How can it not be when you can attack and then be 2 postcodes away before the victim can so much as glimpse your license plate number? That's probably why your horse disappears as you enter one of the more traditionally Souls-like sprawling castles or dungeons, like a fussy dad is insisting we take our shoes off at the door. Fun though it might have been to ride my charger straight through a skeleton-haunted
actually don't know how
catacomb
to
like
say
a
that.
snowplow in a popcorn factory. Riding around the open world feels like being let out into the playground for recess until we eventually have to come back inside to get once more bent over the vaulting blocks for the PE class that never ends. I had my misgivings about Dark Souls the open world, felt like if anything the Soulsies should have been above the general industry trend to gravitate everything to arsing about in a bush. My misgivings about the fucking crafting system I was quite justified in mishaving. Usually when you find stuff in Soulsy games it's a time for celebration. Ooh, new weapons. Ooh, upgrade stones. Ooh, a small porcelain cat with a mummified finger in its mouth. Don't know what the fuck this is, but maybe I'll just yeet it at a boss and see what happens. Not so much of that in Elden Ring, when half the time it's just more fucking crafting materials to add to the 6 tons of garbage we're hauling around in our horse's invisible
Kinda,
U-Haul
yeah. The
trailer.
crafting
But generally
is,
this is
if you're playing it as a normal Souls game, the crafting is kind of unnecessary, to say the least. I don't... No, I did craft a couple items on my first playthrough, but just like anti-poison stuff or anti-scarlet rot. Nothing too important and not too much useful as a system. But it's a nice addition, I think. If they improve upon it, maybe making the items harder to find, or like less items just there in the real world, and instead of them just materials to craft them. But then you can buy materials, so it's endless supply either way. You just buying materials instead of buying the things and then crafting. I don't know.
isn't the laundry list of grindy busy work that Ubisoft calls a sandbox when it can get a word past the dicks in its mouth. This is a case of pick a direction and ride and adventure will ensue. See, when the game signposted the path to the first castle and the bouncer at the door greeted me the way a starving chimp greets a satsuma, Elden Ring was trying to tell me something, I eventually realized. It was saying, don't follow the signs, go off-road, explore, you'll get stronger, you'll get experienced, you'll get pounded into wet sand by a giant crab with anger issues. So I explored, I took
Crabs
what
are
paths I could find
nothing.
until I hit a difficulty wall,
Lobsters,
saved
though.
the spot for later, and then tried somewhere else. It was like that thing you do with choose your own adventure books where you keep your fingers marking 8 previous pages in case you're fucking things up. Elden Things open world actually feels like an elevation of the trademark Soulsy spectacular backdrops and droptacular backstabs,
Yes.
and there's a lot more to it that can be discussed in 5
There's an
minutes,
upgrade on the
or
formula.
indeed played in 1 week. Sadly, my time with it ended on a sour note. I'd just gotten to this one puzzle boss fight where you can't hurt them till you break their magic shield by finding the 3 random low-level minions powering it and smacking them around the head with a rolled-up newspaper, and it felt like a fucking do the thing 3 times boss from Super Mario, but whatever. Every From Software game gets one weird shitty boss. It's in the company charter, I think. But then it turned out, oh, this was just the first phase,
I didn't
and
have
the
to
actual
pause it.
boss fight comes after. And every time that boss killed me, usually quickly, because I was still trying to learn their patterns, I had to do that whole fucking first phase again, which wasn't fun or interestingly hard, it was just a slog. I'm here to serve up a
It
sizzling
takes
footload
like a minute. You know how to find the 3 people. They're not... They're kind of random to who it's... Who gets the power to put up the shield, but you can easily tell them apart which one is which. So you just kill 3 little girls and then kill the big one. It's as simple as that. I don't see a problem with it. Also, the boss isn't that hard at all. Cringe, get good, don't die on the boss. Ew.
of meaty death to this moony cow, not run around her minions for 10 minutes handing out finger sandwiches, and then I ran out of time before I'd beaten it, so it's a shame my last memory of the game had to be 2 pillowy mouthfuls of buttock. Maybe I'll try to get through the game with my 1 hour of daily spare time after the kids have gone to bed, so ask me again how I feel about it around the time California slides into the ocean, or George R.R. Martin puts another book out.
So it's like a review over the beginning of the game. And just titles. Okay. I'm assuming it was maybe a press copy. That's why he had a limited amount of time, or deadline for the video. It just happened. I don't know. I don't know what stopped him from even beating Renala, but okay, pretty fair enough. If you played that much of the game, you can't really tell the full story of his adventure through it. The full story of was the crafting system actually useful for him or not, or like any other worse bosses, because there are a lot of them. Than Renala, like making a review only on a few hours into the game. I don't know how many hours. He could have spent 50 hours and only beaten that because just exploring and stuff. But just making a review like that, I don't mean any negatives. Like you shouldn't do the review like that. It's shit. No, but it's like it is not full. It is like the first. It's more of a first impression than a review for me. And he played through it, however time he had. So I'm assuming he enjoyed it. Except for the boss he didn't beat, and of course when you stop playing when you don't beat a boss, that's gonna leave a very bad taste in your mouth, and he wasn't able to finish it. But when he does, he'll think back about the boss being beaten, see its actual pattern, like most of the attacks and stuff like that, and probably be like, okay, I was a bit wrong about this, because like the first phase is fast as shit, and then the second one is actually fucking gorgeous. That's just the fight, like the boss itself, like the moveset and all that stuff is pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. But the place you fight them in is fucking amazing. Anyway, enough talking. Thank you anybody who watched this. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Have a great life, because one of us has to.